Obviously, everyone's thoughts and prayers are with Leo and his family at this very sad time after the accident over in Brazil. So RedArmyTV would like to say we send all our love, our respect and best wishes for a speedy recovery for the 4 of those who are in hospital at the moment. Welcome to the Christmas edition of RedArmyTV. Now, we've been scratching our heads going, what's been the highlight of the season so far? And we couldn't find one. So we thought we'd get in the two guys who talk the most all season long. It's Matty and Daz. Hello, fellas. Welcome back again.
Cheers.
I missed the last time you were sitting. I think Matt was sitting in the chair.
He was, yeah.
He was, yeah. But he couldn't get a word in edgeways, so this is going to be a good battle. And yes, I am looking like a complete buffoon with me daft Santa hat on, but I've got to wear it because it is Christmas. Fellas, where do we start? Matty, we'll start with you on the wing. Millwall, another great performance, fantastic 3 points, or am I living in a completely different universe?
Yeah, toothless, clueless, tactically inept again. Just say I didn't go to the game, listen to it, and I don't know how I didn't deploy the radio through the TV. It was just, I just listened to the game thinking what the hell is going on again. Everything we spoke about in the last game is exactly the same. I'll tell you the only one I could maybe see coming up any credit was Stewie. It seemed he was just pulling all the strings. It was his name all the time I was hearing. He got the goal even though the keeper's threw it in the net by the sounds of it. But just we shouldn't be getting beat by teams like Millwall. They've got no right to beat us, but they've outbattled us. I say people I've spoke to the game, a tackle in the first few minutes apparently, and that was it then. They just didn't want to know. You know you're going to get bullied at Millwall. They're going to try and rough you up. The fans are the same, you know, try and make it intimidating. But we've gone there before, we're cranking.
We've done them.
Put 5 past them, no different. And we've got better players this time. There's no excuse. We should be spanking Millwall. There's no excuse at all.
Daz, you did go. You didn't see all of it. We'll talk about that a bit later, mate. But what you did see of it, what were your thoughts?
Well, obviously I got there late. From just as he arrived at the ground, we went 1-0 down. I popped up. Obviously it went to 2-0. So I only caught really the second half of the game. Now, what's evident is we're losing the battle before we can. We've got to win the battle. There's a statistic there. We as a team we're in the bottom 5 for tackles made. So that's telling us straight away we're not going out to win games.
And it's a tough league.
It's a tough league. Yeah, we're getting out battled in that league. If you don't win the battle, or at least match the teams for the battle, your quality's not going to get you anywhere. And that's what I was seeing was evident from the second half. Is Millwall were hitting us with tackles. We were second to every ball. The only positive thing that I can take from the game was he brought Stewie inside into central midfield. Now I think we've been playing with 2 older midfielders. It doesn't suit us. We're too negative with the 2 older midfielders. As soon as Stewie got in the middle of the park, we started moving the ball, we were getting the ball wide, we started creating chances, and we could have maybe nicked it and got a goal back, got a draw. But yeah,
he's the only thing come out of it for me down there.
There's no fight in the team. Simple as there's no fight in the team. Ayal is garbage.
He's a shadow, isn't he? He's a shadow of what he was 2 years ago.
He's not the only one, though. It's sad to say it. I think Ben Gibson's a shadow. I don't know what's happened to him. He was by far, well, obviously England were knocking on the door. But
is it England, Matty, or is it the fact that obviously he's had Ayala alongside who's thrown in plenty of ricks. He's had Dale Fry who threw in that big rick, and I think taking him straight out the team hasn't helped him either confidence-wise. He had Ryan Shotton in there one game who threw some ricks. Is it more Gibbo having to worry about 2 positions rather than his own?
He doesn't look the same type of player. You used to see Gibbo, we played the Premier League, even against your top strikers, he still liked to come out with the ball, never seemed to like try and lift it long. Good left foot on him, good range of passing, and now he just doesn't look the same type of player to me. He doesn't look like the Ben Gibson we had in the Premier League in the season before, where you've got all these big clubs looking at him. There's no way big clubs will come knock on the door for him in January. I've heard again today West Brom are going to come back for him, but I don't think he'll go anywhere bigger than that.
I think Monk's already come out and said he's going nowhere.
Yeah, well, it may be, but I don't see. You looked at the clubs who were looking at him last time. You know, the Evertons, maybe Tottenham were touted and other teams. I can't say, and at the minute looking at him, And it's a shame because he's a class act, and it just destroyed the season. All these players that were class have all dropped.
There's a few that are not playing anywhere like they've done before. Gibbo, you've just focused on. Ayala, a couple of years ago, was player of the season. Yeah. We were all talking about him being the best of the two central defenders. Yeah. What's happened?
I think he seems to have lost a yard as well. He seems cumbersome. He looks like he's lost a yard. He's never the quickest anyway, but he's just slow. He's rash in his tackles. He's a yard behind the game all the time. Defensively, we're getting exposed, but I think that's a team thing. I don't think it's you can't put it down to the defenders. We're making stupid errors, yeah. But no, coming at Ben Gibson, he got bullied off Morrison, and once Morrison gave him the run around, it was men against boys.
Yeah, you should have him. You'd expect Gibson to have players like that in his pocket.
Yeah,
no problem. If you asked me before coming to Championship, you've got Ben Gibson up against Morrison, I'd be like, behave, no contest. And then you see it, and it isn't. It's not just Morrison.
It's not that though. Ben Gibson can't. It's obvious that he struggles against the big centre forwards like Morrison. We were getting out battled. Yeah. He held everything up, played off him. They played the long ball, nice and direct. Any ball, we're on the attack. Any ball that goes over the top, we seem to be knackered because it's just straight over our defence. We can't deal with it. Ayala will make a mistake. Ben Gibson tried to head the ball back to the keeper, nearly put their striker in. Any ball over the top against us, we're in trouble.
But the first goal Millwall was Christie with a throw. He was right in the dugout. He seemed doing this all the time, and then I think he just threw it a Ledbetter on a canter because he didn't realise because he's taking too long. And then Ledbetter's went to just kick it into anywhere, and then they've scored off it. But anyone will tell you in basic coaching or in football, just put it down the line. Why have you threw it in the middle of the park? Why? What is the point in it? Because you didn't even know what you were doing.
We'll sink our teeth into it a bit further. We've just got to catch up on some social media. If you want to be part of the show tonight, you can get your messages in. These lads seem to capture a few responses when they're sitting in the old famous red settee. Hashtag RedArmyTV. That's hashtag RedArmyTV. Get your messages in live on Facebook Live. We're going to take a quick break because we need to have a look at what's been going on Twitter spheres and Facebook land. And yes, I'm a dinosaur when it comes to social media. But the man who isn't is a very depressed Matt Bland. Here he is.
Right, let's see what's happening in the land of social media here on RedArmy.tv. You think everyone will be in good Christmas cheer? Not after the weekend. Let's start off with Bob Mortimer, the Bob Mortimer. He's put, so sad, there is a good side in there somewhere, but Monk can't find it or motivate it. Paul Mulligan, MBE. He's put, I think Gary Monk should give the Borough players lighters as they keep losing their matches. Just a thought. Danny, you've put, we are desperate for a change in formation. Play Clayton in front of the defence and let the rest just tear shit up. He's the best there's been in the league for years. And finally, Tim Robson, you've put, am I being daft? Dunno, are you? Or do the players need a shoulder of some blame for the current league position? Formation and tactics aside, some of the goals we have conceded have been embarrassing. Obviously, Gary Monk must take some ownership, but think the players need a rocket too. Hashtag UTB. Well, keep your social media comments coming in and we'll have some more over Christmas and see how the Borough again on a Boxing Day. Back to you, Dave. Ho, ho, ho.
Right, thanks for that, mate. As you can see, he was a very happy chappy. Got to give a mention as well, lights for Leo. Obviously, devastating news, the tragedy that's happened over in Brazil with Leo, the former Borough coach. We're all thinking about him and his family, of course. And we want to offer some sort of support. Just send a message. It'll be the smallest of crumb of comforts, I'm sure, when you bear in mind what they're battling with over in Brazil. But we'd like to do our bit as Borough fans. So I haven't got my phone. I didn't bring my phone. And get your phone lights on. 5 minutes into the second half on Boxing Day against Bolton at the Riverside. 5 minutes, the reason why, there's 5 members of the family. Get the lights on, but we also want a solid minute chant of Leo, 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 Leo. Let's get it done. Let's send a message across to Brazil. Good to see the reaction to this on social media. Lee Guest, great idea. Ethan Watson, we must have one of the best fans in the Championship. Charles Keane, Borough fans solidarity at sad times is amazing. Robin Sargent, unfortunately due to no trains running on Boxing Day, me and my boy can't make the game, but we'll be turning our lights on as we listen to the game on the radio. And Neil Moody, lights for Leo, great touch from us fans. And then when it's all over, we should start chanting Monk out. Thanks, mate. Thanks for that one. Right. we haven't got long left of this half, fellas, and there's still plenty to chew the cud over. But one thing that I would like to think about, a very short reaction from both of you before we come to the break, is automatic promotion gone?
Oh, definitely, yeah. Definitely, yeah. I think it's going to be a struggle to make the playoffs. I think it's going to be touch and go to make the playoffs. I don't see anything changing, and I think we'll carry on like this for the rest of the season.
Matty, what do you think?
I'm going to spin the coin. I still believe if we... I look at the team and I see we are garbage at the minute. I totally agree with it, but do I sit there and think we couldn't go on a good run? Could we go on a 10, 12, 15 game run? If we wanted to,
We've got the squad to do it.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I'm not saying that like at the minute we're playing rubbish and I think you've got no chance, but quite right, we've got the players there to look at that team and think, who should be beating us? None of them. We could do it, but is it going to happen?
We haven't got the manager to do it.
We need to hold you there, fellas, because we need to go and earn some money and throw something in the coffers here. We're going to take a short break. We'll be right back after this. Welcome back to the second half, RedArmy.tv. It's Matty on the wing and Daz inside forward. I'm sure my age now, inside forward. Number 8, Millsy. That'll do. Oh, God, Millsy. I'm sure my age. God, it's terrible. It's terrible. Talking of that sort of era, one man who's been a little bit busy this week with Borough connections, former Borough striker Dave Hodgson. He's been talking at the Middlesbrough Official Supporters Club meeting. Talking about his managerial career and how he ruled the roost. Have a listen to this.
When I went back, I was talking about Platty, about people trying to get involved in the football side of the club at the time, and I resigned at Jim State. That was something similar, okay? And it's how I am as a person. I manage a football club. Not one single person will ever tell me what player to play, what team to select, whatever. Never. And if anyone ever tried to do it, which they did, I walked out, okay? George Reynolds. You must know something here. He did actually, only on one occasion.
Well, we're talking managers and a bit of steel there in the bones of Dave Hodgson. Gary Monk's quote after the Millwall game, fellas, I never question the effort, I just don't expect this level of naivety from the players we've got. There seems a bit of a difference between what Hodgie's been saying and what Monk comes out with. Yeah,
well, you can say anything, the players were naive, but then as a manager, as a point, we were playing away at Bristol and he puts a Adama Traore on the left. The guy's just learnt to cross with his right foot and then he's putting him on the left and all he wants to do is run. So he's just going to run into traffic. So he's going to run into traffic on the inside and he can't cross with his left on the outside. So yeah, the players are naive and making mistakes, but also Gary Monk at the same time, he's making mistakes. So he needs to have a look at himself first because tactically he's not getting it right for me.
Get your view on that in a sec, Matty, but I've got a little comment here. Di Schofield has been in touch. She said, have you lost some weight?
Yeah, thanks, Di.
And Martin Day's been in touch as well. 19 points from the top, fellas. There's no chance of automatic promotion, but we're only 5 points from the playoffs. We'll be in there come May, so still a little bit of positivity there. What about Monk? I mean, there's a huge amount of people. I mean, there's been polls on social media, isn't it? And it's 80-odd% get him out. But where are you standing?
I said last time I was on here, and I wanted to give him a chance because he deserved a chance personally. You know, we weren't that long into the season, and I know it wasn't going very well. I honestly thought Andonati would get it right because I thought he was I still think he's a decent manager, but I think he's out of his depth a bit, and he is naive because a lot of Borough fans were not stupid. The Borough fans aren't stupid. I've spoken to my brother today and he said the same thing, and he is right that Monk, when he has his interviews, I think he thinks the Borough fans don't know what they're talking about. They're not daft, and we can see what's going wrong. Everyone else there can see it, but nothing changes. So when you go to games and it's still the same, I don't see how people are going to really swing and think we need to get him out because it's not going to work with him.
I think what it is now, you've got to look at the situation with Gary Monk and say, right, how are you going to get us out of this mess? Because, and it is a mess, the amount of money we've spent at the moment. How are you going to change things? Because he's going to come to January and have to spend more money.
He won't get money.
Because how can you not work with the squad that you've got? Do you know what I mean? It's
if I was Steve Gibson, I wouldn't be giving him money in January. I'd be fair to tell me you've had enough, sort it out. You've got enough players in there to get that team up into the playoffs at least. There's teams in that championship have got no right at all to be above us in the league. No right whatsoever. Your Prestons, your Millwalls, come on.
Let's look at the team. Look at the players that are in there that make up the squad. Is it good enough to be winning this league?
Definitely.
Without a doubt.
Definitely good enough.
Well, if the players are good enough and the squad's good enough, it then can only come down to either effort from the players, tactics from the manager, but don't both of them point the finger at the guy who's in charge?
You can blame Monk, but you've got to blame the players as well. You can't lay the whole entire blame on Monk's doorstep, because the players have got a lot to answer for as well. Because I gave you a lot of stories, they're all, I don't like his training methods, and we don't like this and we don't like that. You're on 20 grand a week, stop moaning. Do you know, I'm not going to stay, and I spoke, Dice just made a comment there when they went to Bournemouth. Do you know, sodden down rain, going out there, 1,000 fans. They don't want to try, they don't want to put any effort in. They can't even come over. Monk, for instance, can't even come over and clap the fans. There's no effort. You spent a fortune, £200-300. Then they want to go away to Reading the next week, another 150 quid. If I'm going to put my hard-earned cash and go and see you on a weekend, especially when I'm travelling away from home, the least I expect is you put some effort in. And if you're not going to put any effort in, that's where a lot of Butter fans now are getting knocked off, because they just don't see the effort.
Well, like I brought up the stat there, we're in terms of tackles, we make one of the teams that makes the fewest tackles in the league. If you want to go out and win a league, the first thing you've got to do out is go out and win the battle. So we should be going out to matches and implementing our game straight away, getting in teams' faces, and let the quality take over. With Gary Monk, it's just boring. It seems to be, it seems negative. We're just sat back. We're not going out to win matches. I think he's a lonely figure as well. I think he needs a number two. There's
proper number two.
A proper number two. I think the club have let us down, and the management down a bit as well, because they've brought Monk in. He's come into a fresh squad that he knows nothing about. So yeah, it's going to take time. But should maybe the club have kept someone on the inside?
If he knew nothing about the squad, why did he oust Downing without a training session?
I don't know.
He's got a lot to answer for that. I'm glad for Stewie. Just bring up the point. I think he's made him look a mug, Stewie Downing.
Stewie's been our best player for
the last 12, 13 games, he's the only one who can put his hand on his heart and say, I've tried this club. There's a lot of Butter fans who owe him an apology, because the amount of people I've seen slate Stewie Downing and say that he doesn't want to be, he doesn't try for the club. Go and say to him now, the last 13 games, because he's been superb.
I think
Monk, the word for him.
I think the best thing Monk could do is put him centre midfield.
Yeah, centre mid.
Put him centre mid alongside Ledbetter or Housen or even Clayton. Stewie Downing needs to be in the middle of that pitch, because there's no one from midfield giving us any drive. Well, I think that's what we're missing.
That's where he enjoys playing now. I mean, he's a different player than he was the first time he was here. He's become more.
He bought it for West Ham, doing exactly that.
Absolutely.
Exactly that.
Fellas, we'll chew some more cud very shortly. We've just got to take a quick break. Here's Joe Nick with the latest goings on in Borough in 60 seconds.
Hi, I'm Joe Nicholson, and this is Borough in 60 seconds. One of our own, Ben Gibson, has been bringing Christmas cheer this week. Gibbo has been visiting Teesside Hospice after being announced as an ambassador for the charity earlier this month. Captain Fantastic Tony Mowbray was keeping an eye out on one of his former teammates at the Hillsborough Shopping Centre. The current Blackburn Rovers manager was there to pick up a copy of Bernie Slaven's new book, Borough's Serial Strikers. Mackham Slayer Marcus Tavernier has signed a new 3.5-year contract with the club. The 18-year-old made his first team debut earlier this season and scored the winner in the Tees-Weir derby back in November. And Steve Agnew's whereabouts has finally been revealed. The former Borough manager looks set to join Steve Bruce's coaching staff at Aston Villa. That was Borough in 60 seconds.
That, Joe. Lights for Leo, it's something we want you to do. Phones on, 5 minutes into the second half against Bolton on Boxing Day at the Riverside. Let's give one of those displays which seem to catch the attention of the whole of the country. And interestingly, the fans' efforts have been recognised out in Brazil. Fluminense have put this on their website. It shows you a picture of Leo, and it's a full story. It's in Portuguese. We've thrown it through Google Translate. And basically it's reporting on what the fans are going to do on Boxing Day at the Riverside against Bolton, just to send a message over to Leo that he's got our support. So good to see that going worldwide. Also, Dimmy's come out, Dimmy tweeting all about Lights for Leo, saying it would be amazing. So thanks for your support on that, Dimster. Fellas, we've been talking all sorts of stuff at the moment, but you wanted to make a point about what happened at Millwall, didn't you? The police situation, and how much of a farce was that?
Well, yeah, well, we got into the tube, into the, what's the station called? Elephant
and Castle.
Elephant and Castle. And they got us into we obviously met in a pub. There was a big group of Middlesbrough supporters in there. And, well, they wouldn't let us get the tube to the stadium. So we had to walk, so we got escorted down, which is fair enough. You know, it's Millwall away. We got escorted down, but they took us on a goose chase and we got the ground just as the first goal went in. Yeah, so fortunately we missed a garbage first half.
Done you a
It would have
favour.
been 3-0 up, you'd have been sick as a chip, wouldn't you?
Yeah, exactly, yeah. Well, no, they did us a favour, really.
Yeah. Quick mention here, we got our first letter, fellas. We got our first letter. Colin Myers in Colburnewham. Thanks for writing in, Colin. He's done out his bedroom. I think it's a bedroom, but he's created his own borough bar, fellas. If you want to have a look, it looks quite nice. I hope there's some beer in there.
Yeah, yeah.
He's given us the invite. We'll be there.
So that bar's in his bedroom?
Yeah, well, it looks like a bed at the front,
Is it?
doesn't it? I'm not sure. Have a look at that. What's your
Yeah,
think?
there's definitely.
But, Colin, fantastic. We love the
Sleep
invite.
bag
We'll be
drops.
there. We'll bring a camera, mate. We just hope there's some kegs just underneath the pillow. We'll be happy with that. Looking ahead, fellas. Chef Wed. What are you expecting?
More of the same.
I don't know. I don't know what we're
I'll say I'll be there at Chef Wedding. If and or not, I'm expecting more of the same. I hope we don't. I really.
Give us a prediction then. Scoreline.
1-0 Roads.
Go on. Oh, God. Give us one.
It's written in
Scoreline.
the
I'm
stars.
going to go 2-1 Borough.
2-1 Borough.
Yeah.
I think Rhodes or Reach could score. I just hope the Borough can pull it off and win 2-1. I'll go with you. Fellas, we're out of time. Pleasure as always. We're going to get you back in very shortly. We'll catch you next week.